Tulane University will have a shooting. Tulane University is going to have a shooting death. And I want you to know it is the government. This is just the Lord speaking to me, so I'm just reading how I wrote it. Tulane University will have a shooting death, and I want you to know it is the government. Excuse me. Excuse me. Tulane University will have a shooting death, and I want you to know it is the government. The government is behind the shooting of a Tulane alum, or one of, excuse me, one of the Tulane alumni. And he said, in the event of resolution, meaning when it's all said and done, when all the investigations have been conducted, when everything has been finished, when all the press conferences are finished, Yah says, it will be found that the government has its hands in the killing as well as extraordinary ties to the victim. The victim has or knows or was working on certain things that the government is involved in. Yah says that it doesn't matter who is eventually caught or who is eventually blamed for the killing. Yah wants you to know that the government did it. The same with Tuskegee University. Someone will be shot there, and the same pattern will be seen. This person will either be close to the government, have ties to the government, and also it will be found that that person had certain things that they had going on that the government was involved in. The Lord says the government is tying up loose ends, and people will be dying in seemingly unrelated incidents, but it is the government covering up its tracks. So I just excuse me, please. I had to do a little bit of research on these universities. I don't know much about them except the fact that Tuskegee is extremely, extremely vaunted, venerated, and famous as one of the top and leading black universities in the country. And both of these, Tulane and Tuskegee, they happen to have very strong medical research departments. Tuskegee University, in fact, is, I think, the only black university that offers a vet program. So if you want to study to be a vet and you want to go to an HBCU, I think of all of them, this is the only one that offers a vet program, or you'll have to go to another institution, that isn't primarily black. But for Tulane and Tuskegee, both of them, in fact, Tulane University is known to have a particularly internationally famous research section, and especially medical research. And so you might remember during the COVID years that I used to talk a lot about the weaponization of disease. I used to talk a lot about what God was showing me, that in the end times, bioweapons would be a very big thing. That is actually where most of the plagues that we're going to suffer in the future, most of the plagues that fulfill Revelation chapter 6 and verse 8. And I saw as it was a white horse, and with him came death and plague and killing with the beasts of the earth and all that. Okay, we're going to go into a season where we have terrible plagues. We're going to have plagues of things that everybody thinks has been eradicated from the earth completely. I saw that the Black Death will come back. I saw that this ancient Middle Ages disease called the ague, AGUE, is going to come back, where you feel like you're shivering to death, but at the same time you're burning up and you're shivering, and it's horrible on you. It's horrible on your organs. It's a type of fever, and back then it used to kill. But I definitely saw that the bubonic plague, which is the Black Death, is going to come back, because we're going to have an oversurgence of rats, especially in international cities like we've never had before. I've talked about the rats, that these rats will be out here as big as cats, as big as small puppies. And I described that in the prophecy that is called the Black Horse. I'm not sure if that prophecy is allowed on my channel, if you have to find it on one of the alternate channels. I think it's from 2021 or 2022, so it's some years back. But I spoke on weaponization of disease, and I spoke on how some of the worst things, such as Ebola, God has revealed here that things like AIDS and Ebola are definitely 100% man-made, that they are actually carefully crafted diseases cobbled together from various virulent, dangerous strains of something, and then concocted into basically one cocktail that was intended to wipe out populations in black nations, primarily in Africa. So I spoke about those things. Maybe that's one of the reasons they took the video down, because that video got a strike. I think I had to take it off. I have 2 Ebola videos, by the way, so it's in one of those. So anyway, God was showing me that in America here, at the National Institutes of Health, that's one, but at other undisclosed locations, America works on extremely deadly biological weapons. And what happens is that the scientists are given unlimited money, unlimited this and unlimited that, to really multiply, to add a multiplier effect to already dangerous diseases. So they're giving top of the line, state of the art labs, unlimited budgets, all the staff that they need. If you need to recruit that person from Germany, we'll get them for you. If you need that person from so and so place, we'll get that for you. And they form these crack teams, and these people work on these diseases because they want to use it to reduce populations in the future. But what happens is that Yah showed me in visions that when you work on the thing, several outcomes would happen. Sometimes you work on the disease and the disease is so successful that it kills everybody in the lab. All of you are working in there, and then somebody drops a beaker and everybody stares at each other because they know in 3 minutes everyone is going to be infected. And then America will just seal that lab, let all those people die, seal up the whole facility, burn it, you know, with the flamethrower where everybody's wearing like the white suit, burn the whole thing, and we'll call it a bust because nobody wants to die going in there to retrieve the data. Sometimes you're very successful and you come to a safe resolution and you create Ebola chapter 59, and then you tell the government, and the government is great. So Marie, we're just going to come by and see you, and then what will happen is they will shoot all of you. After you hand over the data, after you explain how everything works, right, they will kill all of you on the medical research team, because they don't want you getting a conscience later on when they see you wiping out the population of Yugoslavia with it, or killing all the NATO countries because they won't back your wars. Then you go on live and then you say, I was the lead scientist. The government will never tolerate that. So it's either there was a mistake made and then the people killed themselves. I saw that sometimes they were so successful at what they created, they mistakenly killed themselves with it. It became so deadly that they caught what they made and they died from it like that. And sometimes they died from it and only them, and then the government was like, oh, this is great, and then took the thing. They were able to take it. Other times it was handed over, project complete, and then all the people who did it were killed. That was another thing. And what else? Yes, I saw that basically they were putting people to death because they didn't want them sharing